Time to talk the Australian Ice Hockey League here on Sports Overnight. A stunning match over the weekend. The Canberra Knights, who were bottom of the standings, defeated the North Stars, who were second, 14-4. The team owner of the Canberra Knights said it's the most stunning game he's ever seen since he took ownership of the team. That's a pretty big claim. We thought we'd better check in with one of the players who might have actually broken a world record as well. Addison De Boer from the team joins us now. Addison, congratulations on the win.
Oh, thank you.
Well, take us through the match. 14-4, not your regular score for an ice hockey game.
No, it really isn't. So I got a little bit crazy out there, but we got off to a hot start, and it just kind of kept rolling with it. We got a couple early, and most of the time in a game like that, you get a couple early, and it just kind of slows down. But I don't know, we were kind of clicking, and the puck was finding the back of the net for us.
Now, in terms of record, it looks as if you may have broken a Guinness World Record for the most points in a game. Now, for those who are not familiar with ice hockey, the points are goals including assists, and you had 11 of those with 3 goals and 8 assists. Can you take us through each of the goals?
To be honest, I can't remember all of them, but I can remember a couple of them. We had a rebound goal. I had one early on. Where my teammate Britt Ouellette tried to take a shot, hopped right out to me, and I was able to bang it in. I had a breakaway goal, and I think I might have had one from the point as well, which is, for most people who don't know hockey, it's out from a ways out, from a shot from out there. But other than that, I don't know, it was a chaotic game. There was a lot of things going on. I actually didn't realize I had that many points till afterward.
Can you tell us about, you said it's chaotic, it's an interesting environment when you're going through a game like that. What's going through your head as all the goals are going in?
It's one of those, man, is this really happening moments. I remember me and Britt and our other linemate Tony were looking at each other holy crap, what's going on right now? Is this really happening? Because, a lot of games you'll get, 5 great scoring chances, but one of them will go in because that's just how ice hockey is. You don't convert on every opportunity, but it seemed like, you get 5 good chances, and 3 or 4 were finding a way back in the back of the net, and it's just one of those nights when everything was kind of clicking,
Addison De Boer is with us. The Canberra Knights were bottom of the standings leading into the weekend, and they defeated the North Stars from Newcastle. 14-4 was the final score, and the club and the Australian Ice Hockey League checking the archives at the moment and the records to see if it's a record for the 11 points that Addison, as well as his teammate, got in the match. Do you have junior games where you've scored that many points? Can you sort of remember and reflect on any of those where you've done as well in previous games you've played in?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever had 11. I've had a couple times growing up playing high school. Back where I'm from is a pretty big deal. And I remember a few times I had a couple 7-point games, and those were a big deal. Those got, talked about here and there, but don't recall 11 ever. So, that was actually kind of a fun night for me, to say the least.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to join the Canberra Knights, Addison?
Yeah, I played professionally back in the United States. That's what I do for my living. I'm in the minor leagues. And most summers I just spend back at home training and getting ready for the next season. But I have an agent. And a friend of mine actually plays for Newcastle. We use the same agent. And, he had talked about going to Australia before, and so had I. And we both kind of talked to our agent and said, hey, what's it like over there? We didn't know much about the league here, can we figure out a way to do it? And he got in contact with the Knights owner, John, and he, we worked things out, and I came on over and just figured I'd spend my summer over here, and I train in my spare time and get to play a little bit of hockey too, so I can't complain, and I get to see Australia.
You mentioned playing in the minor leagues in North America. We have plenty of Australian baseball players who play their trades in the major leagues, but also the minor leagues. When people see the top line elite athletes, be it basketballers, NFL players, or ice hockey players, we tend to think it's, a rich, rewarding lifestyle, jet setting everywhere. But can you tell us what it's like, playing in the minor leagues?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different. I have some real good friends that I played with in the college ranks. Played with them, and they've made it to the big times, and they do get their private jets, and they're making quite a bit of money. But in the minors, it's you make a pretty healthy living. It's your only job. You don't have to worry about money and whatnot. But you don't fly everywhere necessarily. You have a nice team bus, but everything else, it's definitely a business, which is takes a little bit of a different turn than what you're used to growing up. But I don't know. I can't complain. Playing hockey for a living, it's pretty exciting.
Has there been a time, though, where the bus has pulled up at a rink in a place you'd never been to before, and you sort of had second thoughts thinking, gosh, what am I doing here?
I've had, not necessarily because of the rink, but more or less because of the crazy fans I've played against. I've been like, oh my, where am I? Because a lot of the minor leagues are played down in the south where they don't know a whole lot about hockey. And a couple times I've pulled in there and I hear some comments from fans that are a little vulgar and probably not radio, decent.
It's interesting because I think it was last year, it might have been San Jose won the Stanley Cup, and it's an area it's sort of well known, as you say, for hockey. But this year it was, I guess, nice to see two proper hockey cities in North America, in Boston and Vancouver, in the Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah, it was. It's great to see, big-time hockey towns doing it. It's great for hockey, though, as a whole, when other teams can make an impact because, it draws an awareness around the rest of the nation for the game that we play. But when you get to see two powerhouse hockey cities like that going at it, it definitely brings it to a whole new level, and you can just see how intense, the fans are. I mean, look, for instance, the riots in Vancouver when they lost. It's that big a deal, where I'm from, and I think people in the South and, Australia, they don't know as much about the game that we play, and it is, quite an intense sport, and, same way that, rugby is to us back in the States, we don't know a whole lot about it.
I remember chatting with one of my mates in Vancouver for the show here the day after all the riots broke out post the Game 7. What were your sort of thoughts and reflections as you heard the news and saw the images? You said, obviously it's a big deal, but you probably weren't expecting that to happen, were you?
Absolutely not. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy. I mean, I'm not going to say I was 100% surprised because I know a lot of people from Vancouver and I know how intense and how, important hockey is to them, but it was a little bit of, a black mark, I think most Vancouver fans would say, for them, having something like that happen. It wasn't really the best reflection of them, but it does show how important hockey is to their culture and, how it's a very well-followed game in North America.
And Canadians just always seem so nice. I mean, they come across in South Park as very nice people, Addison.
Kidding. You would think so, but I guess when it comes to their hockey, they're not so nice. I can tell you, watching the Olympics with a bunch of fellow Canadians, sitting in the same house with half Canadians, half Americans, those got pretty intense.
Well, what would have happened there if if Canada had lost that match in Vancouver at the Winter Olympics?
That would have probably been riots across all of Canada, not just Vancouver, and all of Canada would be apologizing to the rest of the world, probably.
Back a little bit on the Knights, if we can. We're chatting with Addison De Boer from the Canberra Knights. They beat the North Stars over the weekend, 14-4 in the Australian Ice Hockey League. You've had a great result now. Is this going to be a fillip, you think, for turning around the side's fortunes for the rest of the home and away season?
We're hoping so. We got a couple new guys that came in, and we're hoping that the new feel around the locker room is going to carry over, and, we'd like to think that we can make a little push here at the end of the season. That's our goal, and I feel like, the game on Saturday against Newcastle is definitely a step in the right direction.
Addison, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the effort of scoring 11 points. We'll get the Boffins to check the records and find out from the Australian Ice Hockey League, or indeed the Guinness World Record, if it is a record there for the 11 points for your teammate and also Bridie Lett. Well done on the win. We'll chat again soon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
From the Canberra Knights, Addison De Boer has been with us talking the Australian Ice Hockey League on